I was really trying to control my topic. Today I was thinking like, what can I talk about that I won't go too deep into anything that I probably shouldn't go too deep into. And you know me, that's always I'm pretty much an open book. There's not a lot of filter here, but sometimes there's some things that I probably shouldn't say on a Facebook Live. So today I tried to really dial in a topic and control the conversation. I want to welcome all of you if you're watching this on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching from. I just want to welcome all of you. Let me know, where are you coming in from? Are you listening to the replay? If you're on social media, maybe some of you are on the podcast. But today I have a really important topic. And I read a lot of books, I listen to a lot of speakers, I do a ton of personal self-development, and very seldom do I go, oh my gosh, that is the best thing I've ever heard. But I hope you guys are ready, because today I have probably the most, next to Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret, which is you become what you think about every day. Next to that, I do believe today is probably the most powerful message, most powerful phrase I have ever heard. And you won't even believe who said it. Like, it was so crazy. I was getting ready this morning. I was practicing gratitude. Some of you use my planner, some of you don't. This is the greatest productivity planner ever. I created it based on all the things that I know are most important. And every day and every night, the most important thing you do, first thing in the morning and first thing at night, those of you that have it, what does it say? What does it say at the very top? Read the very first thing. It says, what is my gratitude for today? And it's the most important thing, because life is hard. And some people will be like, well, that's not very positive, but life is hard. It's life. And none of us are getting out of here alive. It's not a dress rehearsal. It's happening every single day. And sometimes we think that life should be easier, but actually it's that we should be better. And I think the most greatest motivational book on planet Earth is obviously the Bible, but some people are like, it's hard to read. It is hard to read. I could go to Psalms, or I could go to like some motivational section, but when you're reading it, it's like so hard to read. And I don't know, I've never read the whole Bible front to back. My son has, my daughter has, my husband has, but my brain doesn't work that way, right? Like, I want all the good, and I want to learn, and I want to be a good steward, but I just have a hard time focusing on the reading. Anybody else have a hard time focusing on something that's maybe not that easy to read? But today, the most important thing I've ever heard came today as I was just scrolling through some gratitude things, and it was actually Oprah Winfrey. And I don't often listen to Oprah Winfrey. I mean, I think she's amazing, but she's not on like my top podcasts that I listen to. But man, today was the most powerful quote I've ever heard. And I'm not sharing it for a minute. You're going to have to wait. But get a notebook and a pen or a pencil or something. You have to get this. So gratitude means that I wake up today, and no matter what's going on, no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad you hurt, or how behind you are on your bills, or how heartbroken you are because of a relationship, or how angry you are because of a business, or an in-law, or a coworker, or your neighbor, like, no matter how destitute you are, maybe you just got the worst health report, or you just got fired, or like whatever it is that's happening in your life, you can always find a way to appreciate what you have right now. And if we don't, we lose it. And what we focus on actually expands. So when we are hurtful, when we are sad, when we are angry, when we're whatever we are, and we focus on that, that emotion expands, and we get more and more and more and more of that. So your desire needs to come from what you already have. I'm so grateful for what I already have. And the grace shows up because you are grateful, and it takes you from where you're at to where you want to be. And the people that don't learn this, they continue to have to keep learning the hard lessons. And, whether you do meditation, I know at night, Dave and I always do the Insight Timer. It's so easy. You just go to Insight Timer. You can put on, I'm anxious, I need sleep, I'm worried, I need energy, I need healing. Like, you can put whatever, and there's a great big library of people. Sometimes I'll click on one and I'll be like, I cannot meditate to this. And then I'll click on one. Our favorite one is Luna Moon. and it's just a restful night's sleep. And literally, it helps you think, what are any unwanted thoughts you're having right now? What are any worries that you might have? And before you go to sleep and first thing in the day, it's so important that you have peace of mind, focus that everything's going to be okay, and to start engaging in things that would actually make things better instead of staying stuck and surrounded with all the people whose energy doesn't serve you. You know, you need to be around people whose energy is uplifting to you. Right after I do this recording today, I am going to see this girl that I've only met one time in this little town where we are. And she has a little shop. And I'm not going to say the name of it because I want to share a little bit with you about my meeting her. I went in there a couple of weeks ago when I was having the worst day, like the worst day. I was sad, I was mad, I was scared, I was angry, I was resentful, like my energy sucked. And I went downtown and I was like, oh, I think I'll just go shop, right? Like, how many of you, when you have a bad energy, you're like, I'll just eat it away, I'll just shop it away, I'll just drink it away, I'll use drugs to make it go away, I'll abuse myself to make it go away. Like when we don't feel good, we try to get away from this feeling, right? So I went downtown. It was not a good day. Dave and I had planned a weekend away, you know, to the lake, and it was just like we shouldn't have even went to the lake because there was just so much negative energy. And so Dave was doing something, and I went downtown and I walked in, and I just took the focus off me, and I started to do what I'm good at. And I feel like my gift is just loving and inspiring and encouraging other people. And I commented the girl, like on my worst day, I'm like, you have such a cool shop. She's like, oh my gosh, thank you. She said, would you stay here for a minute while I run down to get a salad? I ordered it at noon. It's 2:30. I haven't even been able to eat. And I was like, sure, you know. So I stayed in the shop and I was looking around and I was getting ready to go watch my grandkids for that weekend. So I always go in there and buy Lola outfits and toys, and they have a lot of little girl stuff, not so much for boys, but they do for girls. Don't worry, I got the boys stuff too. But I went over to the toddler section, there was nothing, completely sold out. And I said to her, oh my goodness, like you just have such a cute store, but I always buy my granddaughter's clothes in here. She goes, yeah, we can't keep them in stock. I said, well, what do you do? Do you go like Facebook Live? She goes, oh my God, no, I could never go Facebook Live. I can't even keep the stuff on the shelf. And I said, really? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I just bought this store, and she was telling me about it. And she goes, we do about 45,000 a month net. And I was like, there's like no other stores on this main street. And everyone says the economy is so bad. And everyone says that the interest rates are so high and the gas prices are horrible and nobody has any money. But this young girl, like half my age, is like, yeah, I'm doing about 40 something a month in this boutique. So I said to her, you know, we should be friends. I just moved here. I mean, you always want to get around somebody that's a mover and a shaker, right? And sometimes everyone I'm surrounded by is draining my energy instead of giving me energy. And so I, of course, was like, wow, you know, the perception was everybody's buying everything in this store. I should too. And so I bought this shirt, I bought another shirt, I bought a flannel, I bought a jacket, like everything I've worn the last week or so. That day I bought in that store. And you guys, it was the energy. It was after the summer, so there's no one at the lake. Labor Day weekend is over, so everyone went back to school. Nobody has any money in August, but her perception is that everyone buys everything in my store. And I did. And you know, I was looking at her, how grateful she was, and I could see why her store is so busy. I could see why when everyone else on Main Street was like, yeah, you know, everyone's gone for the summer. It's a slow season. School's back. This girl was on fire, right? So I said, oh my goodness, I got to bring some of my products to you. And she goes, what do you do? And I told her. And, you know, I went from being mad and sad and angry and pissed and resentful and fearful and like a lot of anxiety and sadness, so much sadness that day, to like feeling different. And it wasn't the clothes that I bought. It wasn't her store. Her store was very picked over that day. It was just the energy and just her being grateful, you know? And then she said, what do you do? And I said, oh, I'm fixing up a little house that we bought and a little Airbnb. And she goes, oh my gosh, my sister and I have 22. And I looked at her and I said, you have 22 what? 22 houses on Airbnb, she said. I was like, wow, you know, she said, what do you do? And I told her, And the thing that you guys need to learn is that people want to talk about themselves. And very few times does anyone ever say, so, what do you do and how do you get started and what you do? Tell me more about that. I'm so interested in what you do. But I know that secret. I was very interested in her. Very interested in her. She had no idea what I did. And then she asked me. And then I told her. And I told her how exciting it was. And all of a sudden, I went from how stressed, how much of a crazy, 24 hours a day I was working, how much of the no time for me and so many calls and messages and such a crazy travel schedule to like how much I loved it, how grateful I was for it. And it was crazy because I learned something today and it was so powerful. And I want you guys to write this down because this is the most powerful quote I've heard in so long. My feelings that I was feeling that day really had nothing to do with me. Really not even anything to do with my business, my health, my wealth, nothing. My feelings I felt that day was me trying to control other people, their decisions, their habits, their words, the way they treat people, the way they run their business, the things that they do. I was so distraught, right? And I went back to a feeling of gratitude. And, even in our most tragic chapters in our life, it could have always been way worse. And I think all of you need to be reminded that no matter what you're going through, it could always be way worse. The quote I want to share with you, and I want you to write this down, I want you to type it in the comments so everyone sees it. This is the most powerful thing I'm going to say probably in a very long time. Forgiveness is you giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. This is so huge, you guys. This today, quote, changed my life forever. Dave was like, my God, are you going to go get a tattoo? Like, that is you. I mean, I don't have any tattoos, but I need to see this every single day, every minute of every day. And you need to see this every minute of every day. Forgiveness is you giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. Life problem solved. Whatever happened yesterday could have never been any different. It's the way it's supposed to be. You don't have any control over it. You can't fix it. You can't regret it. You can't change it. Repeat it again, right? Forgiveness is you giving up the hope that the past could have been any different than it is. All life problems solved. No more anxiety, no more depression, no more sadness, no more anger, no more resentful, no more hurt. It's gone, right? You can either accept the way that things are or you can regret the way that people have treated you. But until you heal those wounds, like pick them apart, dig down in there, take out all the memories and make peace with it, what might have been will continue to hurt you, or what happened will continue to hurt you. And I know it is what it is, right? It's not easy to hear. If it's easy to hear, it's even harder for you to do it. But you got to sit with the hurt of whatever came to be. And you got to let it flow through you. And the most important thing, you have to forgive the person. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive everybody else involved, the situations, maybe even God. And the gratitude that you wake up with every day and the forgiveness that you have in your heart is what attracts all the abundance. You can't put a bandage on it. It hurts. It sucks. It was not right. It was injustice. Like right now, our family has so much going on. Like we could start our own talk show. No, we could start our own reality show. Actually, our YouTube channel would go crazy. Nobody would even believe the shit that happens on a daily basis, right? I mean, it's just, that's what it is. But you can't bandage it because people will try to cover it up with food, with work. I mean, for me, it's work. I just work. I just love to work. Or I try to stay busy, right? You can't fix it with any drugs. You can't fix it by smoking cigarettes or weed or drinking or eating or even shopping or hurting other people or whatever you do. It will always come through the bandage until you just deal with it, right? Accept the past, forgive all the others, and move forward. Quit thinking about what might have been. Remember this, forgiveness is you giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. all those things those people did or said or are still doing is going to continue to happen. The more you focus on it, it expands. So you open up the wounds, you dig deep down inside, you pull out all the memories, all the hurt, you face it, you cry, you beat something, you throw something, whatever it is. But you have to understand that your bad feeling is because of a sense of uncertainty. Anything you're afraid is going to happen again because those things keep coming up. Anything you're mad about is because it wasn't fair, and you don't want to forget about it, because then if you just forget about it, that means it was okay. So you want to keep talking about it. You want to keep spreading it around. You want to keep focusing on it, keep fighting it. And what you have to do is let go of all grudges. This helped me so much. You do it for the people on the other side. Not all the days ahead are going to be easy. Like, we are embarking on an amazing opportunity, I will say, to have the greatest testimony ever. That's the way I'm reframing it. I am embarking on an opportunity that could be the greatest story witnessing that has ever happened. By the grace of God, it will be a miracle. And everything's okay, right? This is what we have to say every day. Everything is okay right now. Maybe it wasn't yesterday, and tomorrow's not here yet, but right now, even if it's the worst thing you're ever going through, you just have to breathe and refresh yourself and let go of everything and make room for all the new that you want to be so good. And people will be like, but just 90 days ago, my life was great. Now it's terrible. Guess what? A week ago, mine was different than it is today. And I think what you have to do is let go of the energy that weighs you down. The fear is false evidence that's appearing real, that's probably never even going to happen. And energetically quit holding on to everything in the past that makes you afraid to move forward. Because in real life, like, I could take this computer mouse and I could hit refresh and everything would refresh. My banking would refresh, my Quicken would refresh, my news feed, my Instagram, my StreamYard would probably go away. But, if I hit refresh, it's a brand new screen. But we can't do that in real life because we keep going back page, back page, back page, history. Let me look at the history. Let me look at the last thing searched, the last thing found, the last balance. Like, we've got to refresh ourselves in order to move forward. Who am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to be isn't always who I used to be. Who I am supposed to be isn't always who I used to be. And so many times people want to go back to that person that they used to be, what they did, what they always done. Where we need to go is not going to be achievable if we keep hanging on to everything that we used to be and used to do. Because what got us to where we are right now is not going to get us to the next level. And I need to be told this every day. What has got me to where I'm at right now is never going to get me to the next level. I need to delegate. I need amazing, energetic people around me. I need a mastermind group, a team of people at the table that are like, we got you, let's go. We got the energy, we got the dream, we got the vision, we got the work ethic. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And sometimes you have people at the table that are Debbie Downer. Sometimes you have people at the table that are actually the demon that is like continuing to tell you, you're never going to make it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Remember about what you did. Remember what you failed at. Like, the hard part is sometimes it's the people that you love the most, right? You might be the mom and you're doing this to your kids. Like, I have had my kids before say, Mom, watch your words. Don't say that. And they're checking me like, Mom, check your words. Quit saying that. Have you ever said, like, uh-oh, we're screwed? And then your daughter says, we're actually not. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. You're supposed to be the one that's helping everyone level up. You can't lose it. Like, if you do, you can only lose it for a minute. And then you got to find a way to get back to gratitude and be so thankful for whatever it is that you have, even if it's nothing. Because if you focus on what you lost, you lose more. If you focus on your debt, you're going to not go up. If you focus on people that left you, you're going to lose more people, right? If you focus on someone that hurt you, you're going to get someone else that hurts you. If you focus on your sickness, you're going to get more sick. But when you focus on gratitude, whatever, like, God, I'm so grateful just to have breath, right? If that's the only thing I could say, I would get more breath. If I said, God, I'm so thankful for the loyal leaders that you put on my team, I would get so many more loyal leaders. When I say, God, I'm so thankful for the opportunities that you have given me instead of why in the world did you dump this on my plate, right? When you focus on that and you know that you're so blessed to have the leaders that you have, you're so blessed to have the employees that you have, you're so blessed to have the opportunities that you have, you're so blessed for the few pennies that you have right now, right? You're so blessed for the people that love you. You always have to feel blessed. Like sometimes you could even stop and say, wow, I just survived the pandemic and a lot of other people didn't. True statement, right? Even if that's the only good thing you could think of. There was a time, about a 2-year span, where every day when I woke up in my gratitude journal, I said, nobody's dying and nobody's dead. And that was the only two things I could find to be grateful for. And Dave said one day, you should change that, Barb. You have so much more to be grateful for. But literally, like if I was trying to be positive, I would be like, nobody died today. And it was just because there was so much trauma. There was so much trauma. There was so much hurt. There was so much pain. There was so much fear. There was so much messed up people and just everything, right? When that pandemic happened, we had lots of businesses that stopped, but we had one that took off, right? I couldn't sit hitting refresh every day like we're bleeding money, you know. That's a normal thing when there's a pandemic and you own stores and malls. I had just bought a salon in November, and in March the whole world shut down. I had opened extra stores, you know, with my kids. They had opened stores. It was a crazy time. But you know what? Every day we were together, I will always say that was my favorite 90 days of my entire life, because for 90 days, I not only had my kids at home, I had my grandkids and their significant others at home. And I cooked for 3 months every day. And I gained weight and we played games. And you know what? I didn't care if I was fat. I was so happy. We played games and we laughed and we fished. And 2 birthdays. Callie and Darian both had a birthday. We made our own axe throwing boards. And Darian said, oh, I wish it wasn't the pandemic. I wanted to take her to this huge cinema. We were going to have this big movie rama all day. So we turned our basement theater into a cinema. We made the menu. We had the popcorn. We had the peanut M&Ms, the Twizzlers, the pop. Like, you guys, we had to create joy because we were all stuck in a house, you know. And there were other people that were separated from their family, and they didn't get to see their family for 90 days or 6 months or a year. And it was so much pain. But in that instance, I bet they were still finding gratitude, saying, we're alive. You know, we're not sick. We're not losing everything. Or maybe they were. You know, everybody was going through stuff. And I still don't think the world is really completely normal. People are dealing with depression. People are dealing with tons of anxiety, so much uncertainty, fear, like you would not believe. And I think gratitude is an important thing to teach right now, because the world is gloom and doom and mad and sad and everything is bad. And it is a ripple effect across our entire country. You have to really think about, in this life, what can I do to really serve the world? And if you can get paid for it, that's a bonus. But if you can't, I still think it's the most important thing to ask. And lately, I have been really soul searching. I look at some of the things that people would label bad that have happened or are happening in my life, and I wonder if God's trying to use me to help with that problem. You know, like, could I solve that problem? Could I help others with that problem? Could I save a life? Could I inspire someone to not give up? Could I help them financially? Like, every day I think, what is my purpose? Because when you're honoring your gift, when you're honoring what your purpose and your passion is, like, my favorite time of the week is right now. I love Saturday mornings. I don't get paid for this at all. It's free. I give it away, but I know it's my purpose and I know it's my passion, and it's my favorite time of the week, because I think of the messages that I get. One person will be like, oh my gosh, what you said today really helped my grandson. You know, it was crazy. The people who have reached out to me and said, you know, I don't know you, but I have seen your No Guts, No Story. So I've been doing this since 2006, every Saturday morning, good, bad, ugly, in a rainstorm, at the K-State football field, missing the pregame, whatever. I'm showing up every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I think that you have to release all of the ideas that you could have done anything different up until now. Expecting people to do what you would do will continue to lead you to more disappointment. Write that down. Expecting people to be more like you will keep you more disappointed. I need to quit thinking that people would just snap out of it, get their crap together, and be me. You know, they're not going to. Nobody else is you. It's not their destiny. It's not the way they're wired. They're not going to act like you, talk like you, think like you, dress like you, give like you, love like you, forgive like you. They're not you. But people who are really like hurting and they're having a hard time taking this message today, ask yourself this question: why do I keep holding on to this? And I think for me, it's because I think I could change it. I mean, I know that I could help. Let me help. Let me fix you. Let me change you. Let me love you. Let me encourage you. Let me help you be happy, successful, and clean, and healthy, and rich, and famous, and skinny, and hot, and whatever all I think I could do, right? But when you ask yourself things that have happened that are giving you bad energy, I want you to ask yourself this question: why am I holding on to this? Why do I keep holding on to this? Why do I keep hanging on to it? Recognizing the injustice, recognizing that it wasn't right, that it wasn't fair, that it was mean, that it shouldn't have been done that way. That why do these people have to keep being like this? Have you ever heard that there's only 5 or 6 mean people in the whole world, but I swear to God they follow me around. I swear to God they do. Last night, I'm not a mean person. I am not a mean person. I am so loving. I help the homeless. I help the mean people. I help people that turn around and try to steal me blind. That is the honest to God truth. But last night, Dave and I pulled into a property that we bought to fix. And it's been full of antiques and junk. Dave's been cleaning it out. I haven't got to be there very much. But last week I drove there because he was tearing out a toilet, cut a big artery on the inside of his leg, and was bleeding everywhere. Somehow drove himself to the hospital and later called me and said, "Hey, I didn't want to interrupt your Saturday morning call, but I am at ER. Don't worry, I'm okay. I got really scared on the way here. I put the hospital in navigation. My car was locked. I ran back in to get the keys. I was bleeding everywhere. I got some stitches, all good." And I was literally like, oh my gosh. Like, I got in my car. I drove 7 hours. I guess I thought I needed to help him after he was all stitched up or whatever. And it was the first time I got to see like the inside of this property that we were working on. So last night we drove, and we always take Sundays and Sunday fun day, do things that fill you up, that give you dreams and goals and energy. And I don't know, we like to work. So on Sundays, we always work on these properties. So we pulled in last night, and everything in there is junk. I'm telling you, we have pulled out any good antiques or whatever, but anything that was left was junk. In the backyard, there was literally 3 big screen TVs, like from 1989, like the first one your mom and dad ever had that filled the whole living room. 3 of those, like in the backyard, in the shed, whatever. But I would give you the shirt off my back. Nobody would ever have to. I've given away money when I didn't even have it for myself, especially family and people in my business. But we pulled into the driveway, and across the street, there was a car with its headlights shining on the new house we bought. And I'm like, those people are nosy or something. They're sitting over there with their headlights on the house. And then we pulled into our big driveway. It's on the acreage. And a girl came walking out of the shed. I literally flipped. I'm like, there's someone in our shed. And Dave's thought was, I hope they take everything and haul it off so we don't have to. And I guess I just felt so violated. For a minute, I just went like, what in the world are you doing in the shed? And then immediately I started to think, she's probably struggling with addiction. They're probably trying to find something to steal. She's probably sick and withdrawing and needs to find something that she can sell to get what she needs. Then my next thought was, maybe she has kids that are hungry. Like, all of these things I could reframe, and I would honestly want to help the girl. But my shock was like, if I was here alone and went in and there was someone in the house or the shed, I would have literally had a heart attack. And that energy like was sticking with me. Like, why would you be in here stealing my stuff, right? Dave just ignored it, walked into the house, and I'm like, can I help you? What are you doing in my shed? And this older, like, she wasn't a little young girl. She was a full-grown adult woman, not quite as old as me, but old. And she said, I'm looking for rocks. And I said, you're looking for rocks? I said, well, you need to go somewhere else and look for rocks. Like, I was nice, but I wasn't as nice as I normally am. And it bothered me all night long, you guys. Like, why? Dave said to me, Barb, there's nothing good in that house. I wish she stole everything, lest we would have to clean out. It's junk. It's been in there since the 1930s. But it was just so weird because I'm such a giving person. I'm such a loving person. It was like, why would somebody do that to me? But at the end of the day, it's gone. It was yesterday. It was yesterday. Why would I even talk about it, right? Choose peace. Quit talking about it. Quit thinking about it. A normal person would have went and posted it on Facebook or called the police. At least I'm smart enough to not know, you don't do that. People look so stupid when they share shit like that on social media. I literally want to go crazy. Somebody shares who got arrested or who did this or who did that. I want to be like, you're the meanest person in the world. Why would you do that? It doesn't serve anyone. So at least I didn't go post it. But I did talk to Dave about it all night long. At 11 o'clock, he's like, why are you still talking about that? I go, I don't know. I guess I was just shocked. But you know what? That's a little thing, you guys. People have big things happen every day that they just hold on to. What their boss said, what their ex did, what their coach did, what their friend did, what their coworker did. And the reality is, do you want to be right or do you want to have peace? Because you're not going to have both. Do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? Because you're not going to have both. Do you want to have good health or do you want to always have to be right? Because you're not going to be both of them. You're going to be sick and broke and never have any peace of mind as long as you keep hanging on to everything that's wrong that shouldn't have been the way that it was. So my exercise this morning was that you exhale, you exhale, you just breathe it all out, you let it all go, and you shift your spirit. You shift your spirit to that young girl that was raised by her grandma, where every week we were at church and Bible school and missionary club. And oh my God, I hated it. I swear I spent more time at church than I did at home. But today I am the person I am because of all the stuff that my grandma taught me. It's helped me to get through so much stuff. I think about that, and in so many ways, that has been something that I've held on to my whole life. That maybe the past could have been differently. And a very wise woman in my life this week, a couple of weeks ago, she went and did this all-day prayer, letting go of everything that's ever happened in her life. And some people would be afraid to do that. I've never done it. I'm going to go do it this week. I don't even think I have anything holding me back, but dang, according to the people who have done it, we all do. And so I think back to my childhood. I was alone in many ways. My mom and dad were workaholics. They were gone every day of my life. I would hear them leave at 5 a.m. and my mom would call it midnight when they parked both semis and be like, are the kids in bed? Did you get them fed? Throw in a load of laundry. We'll be home in 30 minutes. We're just getting some food. They were workaholics. They both drove semi trucks, food distribution companies, and I was the oldest of 5. So up until my grandma died when I was 12, she was my rock because I was always at grandma's house. And it was just me and Lori and then my little brother, Mark. But then there was 5 of us and no grandma. And my sister, Lori, and I, we were the built-in babysitter. And, as a teenager, we hated our mom. We thought she was so mean. Today, we know she hung the moon, the stars, the clouds, and all the air around us that we breathe. She is the greatest person on planet Earth, next to Dave's mom, who brought him into this world so I could be blessed with an amazing husband, right? But our moms, this week I was sitting with them and just talking, and one of them said to me, one thing that you really need to let go of is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why? That's so old. I was like 12 years old. But it has created fear in my life for 40 years. 40 years, probably one of my biggest fears. And it happened because of something that happened when I was 12. And so it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't who your mom and dad or grandma or grandpa was. We all have things. And you are only responsible for one thing: fixing you, saving you, good health for you, helping you. Nobody else. Nobody else. Nobody else needs you to fix them or save them or help them or cure them or redeem them. Like, that's his job, right? We all have an audience of one. And every day we try to impress everyone else around us. And we try to change everyone else around us and fix everyone else around us. And we can't. So it doesn't matter what has happened up until this day. Accept it. Let go of the past. Pick up the Bible. It's the greatest motivational book ever. Try to read it. I know it's hard, but you got to. If you think things sound too good to be true, they probably are, and they will quit happening good for you. So quit thinking like, pinch myself. How is this happening? Watch your words and say, I knew this was going to happen for me. I am manifesting this. It's amazing. It's good. You've got to talk about more of what you want. about a week ago, I told Dave, I said, I love our lake house. We do have neighbors on either side and a dock that other people come on. But I said, want to be awesome someday down the road when the people over on the other cove that have the whole entire point of the lake with 12 acres, want to be awesome when that goes for sale and I can just buy that. We won't have any neighbors. We can have all the kids around us. We can build more houses, whatever. And last night when I got here, that house was for sale. And it should have probably freaked me out, but it didn't because I knew it was going to happen. But the question is, are you ready? Because I'm not ready for that house yet. And it makes me think I got to do more today so that I'm more ready for what I want to manifest. And the only thing that I can do is this. I can only have gratitude for what I have right now. I can have so much love for the people on my team and the leaders that work so hard every day to make my amazing manifestations possible. Their energy, their love, their encouragement, their hard work. I walk in the office and I'm like, I'm so grateful for you. I walk in my stores, I say, I'm so grateful for you. I get on Facebook and see my entire network of people that love our nutritional company. I think, I'm so grateful for you. Some people wake up and they say, that dumb, stupid girl hasn't done anything in a month. She's sitting there like a bump on a log. She's not even building her business. I've looked in the back office and she hasn't done anything. And guess what those people get? They get a whole bunch more people that don't do anything because they don't have gratitude for the one person they have. We have to meet people where they are. We have to love people where they are. We have to be so grateful for every stinking blessing that we have, even the air we're breathing, or we won't be here tomorrow. We won't have air. We won't have friends. We won't have a business. We won't have any money. We won't have the little lake house before you get the big lake house. You got to be grateful for the car that has 110,000 miles on it before you're going to get the brand new one. We have to wake up and go to bed every day with gratitude for everything we have. Or write this down. You will sabotage your own success. And you got to be careful who you're around because you'll become like the people you hang around. And wherever you hitch your wagon, you got to be thinking, is this integrity? Is this honesty? Is this a solid foundation? Are these the people I really want to grow with? And if that is you, I'm telling you, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing called life. Let's grow really big businesses. Let's manifest dreams that are bigger than anything we ever thought we could do. Let's give more money than we used to make in a year every month. Like, let's reach more people. Let's give them hope. Let's help them to have better faith. Let's help them spiritually. Let's help them with their health. Let's help them with their dreams, to dream bigger and believe in themselves because maybe nobody else ever has. I had a mentor that did that for me. And he told me one thing in 1996 when we were bankrupt. And I said, oh my God, we're so broke. I can't even believe how broke we are. We can't come to the meeting. We can't get to the event. We're going backwards. Oh my gosh, everyone is terrible. It's terrible. That's all I ever said. And he would say to me, watch your words because you will become what you think about every single day. And what we're going through right now is not a lifetime. It's just one chapter. And he told me about a time where he said, and our business is amazing right now, you guys, but when your business is amazing, something else will go bad, right? When your health is amazing, your finances will be maybe not so good. When your finances are great and your health is good, your kids won't be good, or your boss will not be good or something. Like, this is life. It's life. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna get any easier. I think it gets harder the older you get. But this is the thing that gets better. You get better. Wisdom gets better. Experience you've had give you so much more strength and to know what to do and what not to do. So many times this week I've told Dave, I'm so grateful that I am more mature today than I was the last time things like this happened. And we just laugh about it. We're just like, breathe, no matter what it is, because we know what's on the other side. You'll have 2 or 3 bad days and then a good day. And sometimes there might be a long chapter where there's a lot of suffering in your family. You still have to wake up and have so much gratitude because it can always be worse than it is today. So my quote of the day for everybody, write it down. Forgiveness is you giving up hope that the past could have been any different and being thankful for where you're at with what you have today. And being so thankful that you actually expand that, whether it's money, health, friends, a network, a product line, marketing, whatever it is. You're so grateful for the little bit that you've got that you focus on it and love it with so much gratitude that it expands. So be thankful, even if all you can say is for this breath, because you're alive today. And when you start there, you're just going to build more and more and more and more solid. Some people are angry and resentful and constantly defending themselves for what is right and what is wrong. And the one thing that I have to stop doing is expecting other people to live their life and be like me, and to just love them and allow them to be exactly who they are. And I would encourage you to do the same thing, not for them, but for you, so that you can have peace of mind. So I hope you guys loved my quote. It gave me such an exhilarating feeling that nothing that's ever happened in the past could have ever been any different. So I need to quit saying what could have been, what should have been, what had been, and I need to focus on how grateful I am for everything that is today. And if you're watching this broadcast, that means you. So please do me a favor. The only way I can reach more people and really step into my purpose is to have other people share and tag and send in Messenger and just spread so much positive. I don't get paid for it, but it does bring me the greatest joy of anything that I do. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you had an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday on No Guts, No Story. Goodbye, everyone.